guys, this is Gamertay, and I know it has been a long time since I upload, and today I am gonna do a deck profile on my new deck, Sakanagi Kaname. This deck actually brings a lot of combo, so let's get started with this deck. For our body, I play 4 copy of Sanagi because, as you can see, the new effect called Purge, you can charge one item into it and also charge into gauge if you need any gauge if you want to get to Lost World. So this is a very good card, and if you have like enough money, you can get the Fubuki. Her ability is when one card goes into her soul, you gain 1 life. But Kaname is the main card of this deck, and her ability is when you ride her, you immediately search for one item and you can charge it into her soul. So we play 4 copies in this deck. The next card is, of course, Super Sword Deity King Kaizerion. I play him instead of Fubuki is because he cannot be rested if there is 3 or more souls. So I could just right on top of another. I could have right on top of Kaname. When I ride her, she has already weaponry link, and if I didn't purge, I could pay 2 gauge, then I ride on top of her, and he cannot be rested. So this is a very good card, and he cannot be rested. And now these days, cards get rested so easily, so I play Kaizerion because of his effect. Now it's time to move on to the size 2. There's only 1, so I play 2 copies of 3rd style Northern Dusk Cloud Mono Yukarali. Sorry for mispronouncing cards. She's a pretty good card. You can just charge 1 card from drop zone into this card soul, or you can search it, a card from your deck, and charge it into its soul. And it also has Purge. You can ride it for free, then you charge it into your gauge. So it's a very good gauge adder. Now let's move on to the size 1s. This is a very important card. First style Kozin, I can't pronounce her name, so sorry. And this is one of the main card of this deck because she allows you to check your drop zone and charge it into soul of a weaponal or mobile area team. So you can charge it into your Kaname. I'll explain how you do the combo later. Which is very important. And the next size 1 monster that I play is 4 copies of her. 7 star Hearted Fairy Skies. She allows you to charge and draw when you have another mobile area team. So this is a charge and a very good charge and draw mechanism. If you don't want to cast any spell, you can just immediately call her. Very useful card. And this card, size 0 card. This card is a lifesaver because all cards on your field cannot be destroyed by card effect. So this shuts down a lot of cards. It also has weaponry link, and you can purge and counter the ability. This is a very strong card. It's a must play. But I only play 2 copies. Now time to move on to the spells. I play 4 copies of Infinite Operation. This is also a must play, so that you can draw into your Kaname. Then if you already had Kaname, you can search for another one for the other spell. So keep that in mind. If your Kaname get destroyed, you still got this card to search for it. Very strong card. The next spell that I play 2 copies of is Life as an Aircraft Mechanic. This card allows me to search for my 2 mobile area team. Example, if this card is in the drop zone and this card is in the drop zone, and I got an item, and I can search for, I can activate its skill. The skill is to put 2 mobile area team into your hand and charge 1 weaponry into your hand also. So this skill allows me to activate weaponry link and charge into a mobile area team. So I play 2 copies of this, and this is also very useful. The next card I play is 4 copies of Hyper Energy. Hyper Energy helps me charge gauge, and in this deck you need a lot of gauge if you want to ride, but I don't find any problem with just using Purge. You can use Hyper Energy or Purge if you need gauge. And I play 1 copy of Gambit. This card allows me to abuse the abilities of the size 1 monster. This size 1 monster, because her ability you can charge into Kaname's soul. So imagine if you got 2 copies of that and you activate their skill array, and Kaname has ability of only activating 2 weaponry into her soul. So I activate skill 2 times, then I can cast Gambit, charge back into my hand, I call again, and I can equip again. So you can abuse this card very aggressively. So in tournaments you can use this and it will be pretty much game. The next card that I play is 2 copies of 2-man team. It allows me to draw, and it's a guarantee sure, because when you have Sakame, you can draw 2 cards. So it's a guarantee draw power. And let's go on to the defensive spell. I play 2 copies of Fugel Shield. It's a notify spell, and if you write, please note that if you have 2 or more souls, you can charge top 2 cards of deck into gauge and gain 2 life. You really need to gain the 2 life and the gauge in order to go into Kaiser Realm. The next counter spell I play is Azura Sky Descent. This is a very good card. As I can say, when your Sakame, it's in your drop zone, and when you ride it already, you're riding Sakame, you can pay 1 gauge. When you attack Sakame with, example, if you have 2 items in it and +1 crit, so equals to 4 crit, then you cast Azura Sky Descent, you ride on it, you can attack for another 5 damage. So this card can be abused very badly. So take note of this card, and it's a very important card to play as. Let's move on to the next spell. This card is a must play. I play 2 copies of New Plasma Mine. This card can literally send or be abused so badly. Whenever like your opponent is in Lost World, they call the last form of destroyer, you can immediately pay 2 gauge, notify the call. So the whale form, or known as the last form, you can send it back and they can't call it anymore. So this is a very strong card. It's a must play. And let's go on to the weapons. I play 1 copy of Feather Rifle item. I just play this card because I can gain 1 life. Just gaining life is one of the thing in this deck to survive. Next card I play is Type 2 Sniping Rifle. Shooting style. I play 2 copies of this. Just if your opponent is using Lost World, I can use this card and I can deal 1 damage if I charge this card into a card soul. And when this card attacks and destroy, I can also destroy opponent's gauge, so they can't go into Lost World if they only have 2 gauge. Then I destroy 1, they only have 1 gauge left. So this card is also very strong. And this card is a must play if you are playing Sakame. It's 4 copies of Feather Blade, M81. It allows you to +1 crit when you charge it into mobile aerial team, and also when you charge it in, you can draw 1 card. So the combo I like to play is when I ride Sakame, I activate her skill, I search for 1, I search for 1 of this, I charge it into her soul, and if I got 1 more, I charge it into her soul again. And when I got 2 other of this Feather Blade in my drop zone, and if I got 2 copies of the size 1 monster, this, if I call 2 of her, I call to left, and I call 1 more copy of her to the right, I can activate both of their skill and charge in 2 more into soul. Because of their skill that I can charge in, her maximum skill is to only charge in 2, but when you call that card, you can charge in another 2 more. If you can charge 1 for each one now. So in total, that will be a massive whopping 6 critical in 1 turn. And this card is already overpowered, so can be very strong, and you can kill your opponent in 1 turn. At the beginning of their starting phase, they don't even get a chance. Or if you like to go defensive during your opponent turn, you can also play 4 copies of Mobile Armored Shield Asagni. It allows you to draw a card whenever this charges into the soul, and also it plus 3000 defense and +1 critical. So this card is actually very useful. So whenever like your opponent attacking and you got Sagani, Saga, I don't know how to pronounce. So you activate this card's skill, you can charge it into the soul, and it gets extra 3000 defense. So it will be a 9k defense card. Very strong card. I advise you to play this. And last but not least, I have 3 copies of the Impact Brave Energy Full Drive. So I usually, after 6 damage, I will immediately pay 2 gauge and finish them off with Brave Energy Full Drive. The ability is to deal 2 damage and deal equal damage to your item that you are right on. So imagine that, and you times 2 of it, so it's 12 damage, and you instantly win in one turn. If you start the match and you have these cards on your hand, and you will win. And you also deal 2 damage. So it's a very, very, very deadly combo. And it's an instant 14 damage deck that you can deal to your opponent in first turn. And we have come to the end of this deck profile, and I hope that you enjoy my Kagami deck profile, and see you on the next video. Bye.